Did Dale Jr. just leak his potential sponsor for the North Wilkesboro All-Star Race? And Jesse Iwuji Motorsports is having some sponsorship difficulties. Let's get into it. Coming up next. What is going on, everybody? Hope you're doing good today. All right, Dale Jr. so far has thrown it back on his late model stock car that he races at select events. So far, we've gotten the Bass Pro Shops car. If you were at North Wilkesboro, if you saw any of the North Wilkesboro footage, it looked like Sundrop Family Day because everybody either had this t-shirt on or the other one with just the Sundrop logo on the front and the 3 on the back. But it was a sea of green shirts. There was hardly any other shirt out there. I had on a different shirt, but I did pick up one of these as well because, well, they're pretty awesome. But Dale Jr. has hinted at, and basically, in my opinion, confirmed what he will be running in the late model, at least in the late model race at the North Wilkesboro All-Star Race, and it is another throwback with a few different variations that it could be. But let's look at what he said to leak this, and then we will get into what he possibly could be running at that North Wilkesboro All-Star Race. So days gone by, Vintage Apparel tweeted this out. Said, we have a Mom and Pop's Country handbag available. Of course, this was a championship commemorative 1991 edition. If you remember the Mom and Pops from the North Carolina area, they had the little trading cards in them for a while. And, well, I bought a lot of ham trying to get the full set. But anyway, so they tweeted this out, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. responded. Days gone by Vintage Apparel on Twitter. Actually, check them out if you like vintage apparel. Where he says you might want to hold on to that for about 4 months. And Days Gone By replies with, I understand the situation. So if you fast forward to 4 months, that would be when an announcement is made as to, you know, when somebody would be running a paint scheme. And if you advance it 5 months, that would be, well, that would be when the All-Star race happens, right? So I think Dale Earnhardt Jr. is basically confirming that on his late model, there will be Mom and Pops on that particular late model going in there. Now, he has 2 late models, so he could have his, and there's several versions of this he could run. So let's take a look at what they possibly could run, and are they going to run 2 Mom and Pops Chevrolets at Wilkesboro. So the first one right here is one that he ran in the Busch Series. He ran the old 31 Mom and Pops, black and red. Neil Bonnet ran one very similar to this, except where it says Dale Earnhardt Chevrolet on the back. On Neil Bonnet's it said Goodwrench. Then there is this white one that all of them drove. There was either a 38, a 3, or an 8 version on this one. You can see Kelly there. Kelly was the 38. Kerry, I think, was the 8. And, of course, Dale Jr. was the 3. So there you go. A nice vintage trailer there, too, by the way. Really cool look. And then there was the black 38 that Kelly ran. So that one is also something you could see out there. I'm personally hoping that they run the 38 on Voppel, and then they run the white one on Dale Jr., But there is one third option that I hadn't thought about, but Kerry Earnhardt ran an all red one. I had completely forgotten about this. He ran this in 1996, and this was another good looking one. So they might be able to sneak this one in right here. And of course, you know, I've got one of these die-casts myself. This is the one he ran at Myrtle Beach. This is the one I remember the most. Even in the late models, he ran a scheme similar to that. So let me know down in the comments below which one you think he should run. Personally, I think he'll run the white one. And I think it's really cool that he just sort of like announced this out of nowhere. I wonder how many people are even going to catch this, but he's basically saying that, well, he's running the Mom and Pop's paint scheme at North Wilkesboro. Which one it's going to be, we don't know. My money would be on the white and red one, but we will have to wait and see to find out. Of course, this is just speculation on my point, but I think it's pretty, in my opinion, pretty rock solid. What could go wrong? It's not like somebody's going to call me and tell me to, take the video down or anything like that. All right, moving right along. Per Bob Pockris, in document sponsorship agreement shows Jesse Iwuji team deal with Equity Prime was $2.25 million for 2022, $3.75 million for 2023. 8 Xfinity races in primary for Emmitt Smith's appearance, and 1 race production shoot. In addition to Iwuji appearances, team claims only got paid $1.87 million of the $2.25 million this year. Of course, he is referencing this Toby Christie article published late last night. So basically, to sum it up, Jesse Iwuji Motorsports got stiffed on some money, and they sort of made it public. And this is interesting because I wonder how many times this actually happens in the Xfinity Series and the Cup Series and the Truck Series. How many times does a sponsor not fulfill all of its obligations, or in some cases a team doesn't fulfill all of its obligations? I wonder how messy this actually gets behind the scenes. Like, we're hearing about this one, but I wonder how many more we go without hearing. I know at least in the late model series this happens a lot. Like, a guy will say, hey, I'm going to give you this much money. Then you show up on race day and you don't have it. So, you know, you got to sometimes dip into your own pocket, and sometimes you'll get it 2 or 3 months later, but it doesn't help you that day. So it can be a frustrating situation, and that might be the situation that happens here. They might get the money later than they wanted to get it, but they still might get the money. But I thought it was really interesting that they probably feel confident they're not going to get the money because they have the deal for 2023 that's even more money. So if they're making it public now, you would think that would upset the sponsor a little bit. So it makes me wonder if they're going to get any of the 2023 money. So these things are really interesting to follow and find out. But it happens all the time in late models, so I found it really interesting, and I wonder how often it happens at the other levels. So hopefully Jesse Iwuji and Emmitt Smith get their money, and that team continues to keep humming right along and doing their thing. All right, that's all I got for you on this one. If you made it this far, feel free to subscribe down below. All your subscriptions mean a lot to this channel, and I really appreciate all of them. If you're already subscribed, you know I really appreciate y'all as well. If you got a comment or question on any of this, leave it down in the comment section. Let me know which paint scheme you want to see Dale Jr. run. And other than that, thanks for your time. Peace.